Hello everyone, it's Spurs Rail 96 here. Welcome to another Train Symbol 4 live stream. For today's stream, we will be continuing with the German theme, and we're going to take a look at probably one of the most surprisingly positive locomotive add-ons that I've seen in quite some time, and that is the very German Railpool BR 193 Vectron, which, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the most modern locomotives we have in the game. So I'm looking forward to doing a couple of runs on the Vectron Dresden, which adds 17 or so services. So we go on Vectron Legacy on the journey mode. What's our Vectron Victor? So we're going to do two services today. A freight service from Dresden to Riesa, and a service from Roderau to Dresden. So let's get going. Let's just get the live chat up and running. That might help. I'll say my hellos to Thierry and Liam. Welcome to the stream this evening. Okay, it's a misty, gloomy day by the looks of it. So let's put the high beams on. Cut in the brakes. Switch the master key to on. Reverse to the forward position. Train brake, we'll set it to 2 at the moment. Anything up back here? It's got PZB, it's got LZB as well. Turn on CIFA for today. Okay, so let's go to Riesa, which is 44 kilometers away. Actually, no, we can't. Just realized, red signal. At Dresden. So we just have to wait for the passenger traffic to make its way in or out of the station. So this is the 193 Vectron. Sadly, we're in a very confined space at the moment, so I can't really show you all the way around, but it is a marvellous looking thing. Made by Siemens, if I'm not mistaken. And just the detail, you know, the numbers, the letters, the logos, Vectron right there. It's such a wonderful looking piece of equipment. Oh, hello, we're moving. Oh, no, we're not. There's a train next to us. Well, I think what really puts the cherry on top of the cake for me is the sounds. The sounds are just amazing. Inside and out, whether you're at a standstill, whether you're coasting, braking, accelerating, you know, messing around with the switches, safety systems, you know, it sounds all new, and I love that. Certainly better than the Talent 1 on the Austrian route, which I have a big gripe about that, no question. I'll discuss the Talent 1 when I get to when I get to cover the S-Bahn Vorarlberg. And then there's these wonderful, absolutely magnificent looking coal hoppers here, or wagons. They are VTG Ineos wagons, and if they're empty, obviously you can open the door and close the door, but the weathering on them, it's so good from a distance. So they're not shiny and clean, you know, they look dirty and grubby, well used. You know, that's what most of the German freight rolling stock should be, and at times I don't think they're really, you know, roughed up or dirty or anything like that. Certainly is a different contrast. Lovely, clean locomotive, very dirty wagons. But yeah, if you haven't got the Vectron, you know, you got to pick it up. You just got to. It's without doubt, I think, maybe one of the best Loco add-ons that I've seen in quite some time. Yeah, it's just perfect to me. It really is. And you know, you can mess around with things with the screen here as well. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Let's go to screen number 2. So you can actually change what type of electric lines you are using. So you've got 15 kilovolt in Deutschland, Germany, 25 kilovolt. You've got Austria as well, 15 kilovolt, 25. Also got different modes for Switzerland, France, which is interesting, and you can actually select it. Select different power modes. You got some from the Netherlands, from Belgium, from Poland, I think the Czech Republic, Sweden, it's either Slovakia or Slovenia on that one, Hungary, now that's Slovakia, so the other one was Slovenia, Croatia, Romania, and I think that's Bulgaria. So, oh, sorry, gotta go right to the top. Don't want to confuse the train. There we go, set it back to normal. You've also got, I think, signal. Something to do with the signalling system here. I haven't actually touched it, to be fair. That's the activating the AFB. You've got settings button as well, which displays all sorts of stuff that I can't understand. You've got presumably that's CCTV cameras, which obviously you can't access. But yeah, the sound, man, it's just so good. It's so good. Right, we've got a red signal coming up. Word of warning, if you are trying the Vectron for the first time, it does take quite some time to brake. Well, to get to a standstill, I should say. But you know, when I heard that Dovetail was making the Vectron and bringing it to the Dresden, I was a little bit skeptical, because I was intrigued, let's say. I was excited to finally get a new German freight locomotive, and one that looks pretty cool, and just by the name, sounded pretty cool. But it's Dovetail, you know, you're thinking to yourself, oh, it may look good, but is it going to sound good? Is it going to perform well? You know, what's the services and the scenarios going to be like? Is it going to be like a cake, I suppose, where it's half-baked? And yeah, it's not very good. May look good, but it may not taste good. But yeah, I'm struggling to believe this is from Dovetail. Maybe they've had some help from TSG or maybe some other third-party German developers. But this is... wow, it shocked me of how good it was. Like, how good it looked, the detail, you know, what you can do in the cab, the sounds of it as well, the switches in the cab. It's just brilliant. It really, really is. And the wagons as well are a nice little touch as well. So not only can you use the 187 now, which is which was my favourite German freight locomotive, you can now use the BR193. I think you can use it on quite a few routes as well, route timetables. So there's a nice selection of routes and operations to choose from. Just got to wait for clearance to proceed. Earlier, got my dad all the Arsenal shirts for the 2024 season. All the game shirts and training shirts. We should be happy. Name on the back is Odegaard. Isn't cheap with the Champions League logo too. Oh, fair enough. Oh, the train weighs over 2,000 tons. Oh, okay, fair enough. I didn't know that, to be fair. I mean, it looks bulky and big, doesn't it? But it's nice, you know, it's nice to just use something new rather than just dovetail repeatedly using the 185.2 over and over and over again, or any subsidiaries of the 185 locomotives. It would be nice if we have a new UK freight locomotive. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the 66, but when you have like 5, 6, maybe even 7 different versions of the 66, it does get a bit tiresome. I mean, we've had it since the very beginning of Train Sim World. It would be nice if we got something that's different and new. Okay, so we just gotta wait. It's passenger. Is it passenger or is it freight? Looks like a freight service to me. That stopped at the it's Dresden Neustadt or something like that. So I'm going to have a little peek. It's a windy, misty day here in Dresden. Just trying to find the train. Ah, there it is. Ah, it's a container intermodal service. It's currently at a halt. I suppose we could creep forward. We are on a slight downhill gradient, so maybe gravity can accelerate the train without me having to use the throttle. What I'm worried about is that I don't want to whack on the throttle and, you know, the train get up to speed and then struggle to slow down in time for the red signal, so I'll put on a little bit. But it is a heavy train. I think we've got 23 Ineos wagons. Don't want to put on full power. There we go. Come on. I'll put on 100%, why not? I'll go past the set of signals here, then I'll maybe switch the throttle off. I do have a little chocolate with me today, as well as a cup of tea. Alright, it's on the move. Excellent. Must have been waiting for that passenger service to come into the platform. So we will have to stop. Again. Hopefully not very long this time. There we are. So cool, isn't it? I was just looking down at the controller, you know. The fact that you've got the light bar displaying the signal colours. It's quite cool, that, I must say. I'm going to tuck into my little chocolate. Because why the hell not? I'll wait for a green and then we'll go. Marvellous. Thierry, the button next to the AFB button is for the headlights. Oh, it's for the headlights. Oh, right, okay. Fair enough. Didn't know that. Might play around with that in a second. Well, Liam, I have a few ideas for freight locomotives in the United Kingdom. I have told Dovetail Games about them. Excellent. Hopefully they'll take those ideas into consideration. Yeah, that's right, the 66 only does have 2 liveries. EWS and Deutsche Bahn Schenker. Or it used to be. I think it's changed now. Thierry, maybe a Dovetail game should release the Class 77, which is a European version of the 66. Interesting. Thierry, the Vectron has got so much power, you only have to apply around 30% to get the train moving. I just apply full throttle, like I always do. Just go for it. I mean, sometimes C37s, if they could add like the 88 would be good. I like that. Or Class 90. That I would like. Right. Let's get going. I tell you, some of the running sounds with this locomotive, it sounds very sci-fi. No wonder it's called the Vectron. This has probably come from the film Tron. But you know, the sounds just sound so cool. It just sounds different, and that's what I like about it. And it's edited well. They've implemented the sounds well. You don't hear any loops or anything like that. It's just a nice bit of kit to use for freight duties. Right, let's have a look at what Thierry said about these lights here. Oh my goodness me. There's hundreds of them. I have no idea what any of those mean. I have no idea. It's best if I just leave it. I put it on high beams because of the fog. What a magnificent looking thing. It's a nice horn as well. Even though you very rarely use a horn in Germany, there are rules and regulations regarding that. Liam, that's why we have the Creators Club. Dovetail being lazy and not having the licensing, so others have to spend their time to make deliveries. That's true. It's such a shame when Dovetail officially confirmed that they've lost the Great Western Railway license. No wonder they haven't been able to add anything modern to the Great Western Railway or add any routes that run the Great Western Railway rolling stock. It's such a shame that they've lost that license. I wonder why they've lost that license. Money, probably. Because it's such a shame, because we have the class, or a variant of the Class 800s now in the game. And you'd think, oh, could Dovetail maybe add the Class 801 or 802s that's used by Great Western Railway. You could get like a modern version, going from Reading to London Paddington. I mean, it's quite modern still for its time period, of course, but You know what I mean? Just would be nice to have a bit more up to date with the electrification completed. I wouldn't say have Elizabeth line, because I don't think Dovetail... Do Dovetail? Yeah, they do have the license for Elizabeth line, because it's under Transport for London. It would be nice just to have a new Great Western Express route in the flesh. It would be nice if they had the branch lines as well. Went to the likes of Ascot, Henley, etc. Oh, Heathrow Airport as well. I'm surprised they didn't add that in, to be honest. When they released the original Great Western Express back in, was it 2017? A long time ago. Speed limit will be increasing to 160 kilometers per hour. I believe we'll be going on the slow lines, which was still a fair way away. Full power. Let's see what this Vectron can do. Lovely. Ah, lovely. That was needed. Nice cup of tea. 40 kilometers to go until Riesa. Here in 2009, EWS purchased by Deutsche Bahn was rebranded. Deutsche Bahn Schenker in 2016 was rebranded to DB Cargo UK. Ah, yeah, that's right. You are right. Class 70 would be cool if Dovetail could get the Freightliner or Colliers license. The Colliers license would most likely be easier. Why would the Colliers license be easy than Freightliner? Unless they've made some I don't know, locomotives that have the Colliers license in the past, maybe on Train Simulator. Liam, Dovetail wasn't going to pay up to the train companies to stop the drivers from striking, so they lost the license. Very good. Now, GWR operate 800 and 802s, that is correct. I think they're not as comfortable as the HSTs. I mean, the HSTs had a buffet car. I wish it still had that. Then I'd use the train way more. Zach Moore, hey, how are you? Nice to see you, hope you're well. Can you do some more sandpatch grade in TSW4? Not for the time being. I've done all of everything I can do on sandpatch grade as far as timetabled surfaces go. I'll probably do a stream on it in the far future, but at this moment in time, no, I'm not planning to do anything related to sandpatch grade. I've actually just deleted it from the game, funny enough, just to save some storage. This game has gotten so big, got so big. I think because the game is so big, it takes forever to fire the game up. Probably takes 3 or 4 minutes. From the moment you press on the game you want, from the moment you press on Train Sim World 4 on your home screen displays on your Xbox or PlayStation, to the moment you get into a service or a scenario. It takes way longer than Train Sim World 3 used to, that's for sure. But it may vary depending on how much content you have installed. Hey Simon, nice to see you, hope you're well. An EWS or DBS37 would be nice. It's a nice option. They have the model, they have the license. That's a good point. I don't really want to see another variant of the 37 though, to be honest. I just want to see some more newer stuff, be it locomotives old or present. Speed limit's going up to 160 again. Oh, on the fast lines. Now that is a surprise. Oh, that's caught me off guard. I thought we were taking the slow lines. Oh well, that's certainly going to speed up the process today. Getting these coal wagons from Dresden to Riesa. Thierry Collars is a smaller company, so we'll probably be more happy to hand out their license. Ah, right, I see, okay. Yeah, that's a possibility, no doubt about it. I just wish they had the GWR license back, though. Would be nice. Liam, yeah, I see more Freightliner than Collars, so it would be much easier, as Collars may take it as them showing their company off, indeed. Add Tornado and the Mallard, and I'll be somewhat happy as long as they don't stuff it up. Oh, well, if they're going to add the Mallard, or maybe even the Sir Nigel Gresleys, A4 Pacific, then I'll be pleased with that. Tornado, not so much. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. The Mallard or the Sir Nigel Gresley I would definitely like to see. And if Dovetail was to bring it, I'm pretty sure that they would do a decent job. I mean, they did a surprisingly good job with Flying Scotsman. I mean, it had to be right, didn't it? From the looks, the sounds, to what you can do with it. So if they was to bring Mallard or Sir Nigel Gresley into Train Sim World, then yeah, it would have to be at those kind of levels, like Flying Scotsman. I could turn on the PZB, but after the previous stream on the Verka Dresden, I'm not taking that chance this time. GA, from what I've gathered, all Riesa-bound coal trains take the fast line and all Dresden-bound ones take the slow line. I didn't know that. Well, I know that one of the services I did earlier last week, which went from Riesa to Dresden, that took the slow line, but I never knew that going in the opposite direction you take the fast line. Which is nice. Certainly changes the pace. Add the Deltic and the 91 on top. Oh, the Deltic 100%. The 91 I'm not so sure, because I think East Coast Main Line, the time period of it was set when I think the Class 91s were waving goodbye or something like that. I honestly don't know, but I thought in my head that the Class 91s were being slowly taken out of service and replaced. I'm surprised actually if Anti-West Coast are completing to dovetail saying make this route, put our brand out there as being lovely and shiny after all the well, the brand has been slaughtered by the press, certainly this year. Coupled with the train strikes on top doesn't help. I mean, on the radio station I listen to, I think I've heard 3 or 4 times discussions or debates about, whether and if Anti-West Coast is reliable, should it be replaced, who should it be replaced by, should they go back to Virgin trains. I think there was one person that rang into the local radio station and said, yeah, we need to bring back Virgin trains. They were far better at doing the job. I've never been on a service operated by Anti-West Coast, and I don't think I'm planning to, after all the horror stories I've heard on in the papers or the website, online, news bulletins, etc., etc. Reduce the speed slightly. Don't want to go too fast. Just over 20 kilometers to go until Riesa. Simon 91s are still around on the East Coast Main Line. Ah, right. My bad. They mostly operate Leeds to York trains and have been painted in a gorgeous livery. A gorgeous livery, I wonder what that could be. Operate Leeds to York. Oh, so they wouldn't even be in the East Coast Main Line in Train Sim World. Well, that's a bit of a pain. Unless you could, suppose, make them substitute for the services that the Azuma does in the game's timetable, maybe? Or scenarios? I don't know. I don't know much about the LNER's rolling stock at this moment in time. Just being purely honest. going over a section of track which I was on yesterday in the previous stream. That bit of track there is a little passenger line that goes up to Grosenheim. Some regional barn or regional express services operate to or start from Grosenheim. Oh right, I see, Simon. Right, they would appear on the route then. Will Dovetail make it? Who the hell knows? Maybe a third party developer might, but yeah, your guesses will be as good as mine. The fact that Dovetail took away those little codes on their future products that they're going to release to the game, not just from there, not just their products, but third-party devs as well. Yeah, it certainly keeps the mystery. So it'd be interesting what Dovetail make in the future. I mean, the small German diesel branch line, modern one that is, coming to Train Sim 4. I mean, hasn't come out yet. I'm a bit surprised. I thought it would come out 2 weeks after the announcement of it, but it's not to be the case so far. It's been an entire month and nothing has been released yet, which is good. I'm pleased. Let Dovetail take their time, please. I want them to make less stuff for once. What I think Dovetail need to make more is loco add-ons, not stupid little loco bundles which have same locomotives that we've already got from previous route releases, just splashed with a new livery or a bit of rolling stock attached to it and stick it on a past or newer Train Sim World route. I want a pure loco add-on, a brand new one built from the ground up, like the Amtrak Acela, like the Class 700, this, the 193 Vectron, and the Flying Scotsman. They're the kind of loco add-ons I want, not those stupid little cash grabs that I call loco add-ons. Well, what are they called? Yeah, loco bundles or something like that. I don't know. Riesa is just over 10 kilometers away. Here a couple of services a day, which the 91s do. They also go to and from Bradford. Ah, right. Simon, you'd assume the East Coast Mail would have some DLC coming, so that's probably, as it's probably the primarily UK route now. It could do. It could do. I don't know. I mean, Dovetail would say, well, we've already released a loco add-on to this route, and that's the Flying Scotsman. Will they release another one straight away? I don't think so. I mean, there is no UK loco add-on planned in the roadmap that's being made by Dovetail or any third-party developers, so yeah, have to wait. Unless Dovetail will add something new in the next version of the roadmap, whenever that comes about. I think it's 23 Ineos wagons we have. It is indeed 23. Wasn't so sure there. Simon, there are some UK loco packs on the road map. Oh dear. I won't be buying any of them then. I have no interest in them whatsoever. I want loco add-ons, not stupid little loco packs. They're just cash grabs to me. Well, they were. They released 2 bundles of them, if I'm not mistaken, for the free core routes of Train Sim World 3 at the time. None of them were good. Waste of time and resources, if you ask me. Theo, the next route I will purchase will be the Blackpool branches. Yeah, that's going to be good. You can tell immediately from the screenshots the amount of detail that Just Trains has put into that route. The Pacer, I'm not a big fan of it. It's a bit of a disappointment we've got the Pacer, but that's just my view. I would have rather had something else instead. But aside from that, oh yeah, the route looks very, very good. Check the just want to check if everything's all tickety-boo coming into the yard. Yep, seems to be. You do get some manual junctions or switches or points depending however you like to save them, but sometimes you get fully automated ones as well, so hence why I just checked. So we're just coming through Riesa station now. And shortly after we'll be heading into the yard. Simon, they add to the variety of trains on the game, so that's something. Yeah, I suppose. I'd rather want Dovetail to focus on making proper good loco add-ons like this or the Flying Scotsman, rather than just reusing locomotives over and over again that we already have from God knows how many routes we've got them in, you know? That's just my view, you know. All entitled to our opinion. Right, we'll stop now. There we are. Oh, a gold. Wonderful. So that was the first service of the stream. Let's now do the second one. Simon, Dovetail really need to make the fog less common. Less common? In what way? Because obviously you can change the weather on the timetable. Maybe in the rail journeys timetables, maybe, yeah. But I don't usually see fog that often, to be honest. Not recently. Anyway, what am I doing? Dresden. Let's do this one. Freight service from Ruderau to Dresden. And since Dovetail have added that volumetric fog to the Train Sim World 4 and Train Sim World 3 era routes, they're maybe going to use fog much more. Right. Alright, we just got to wait for clearance to proceed. Once again, fully loaded Ineos wagons. Marvellous looking things. VTGAG Hamburg. It's got the website and the email. Yeah, you can't open it. Ooh, what's that? Draining release. These are some of the nicest wagons I've seen in a very long time. Very nice. I've left it off. I didn't even know you could turn it. I've left it on. Sorry, I didn't know you could turn it off, but it doesn't impact my game when it comes to performance. I haven't noticed it as much, to be fair. And I don't normally when I played a game, I mostly used a custom weather, so don't use the fog at all. Simon, do you have the DBBR 101 and ICE there? I do, yes. Oh, lovely. Nice cup of tea. So this is a ruderal, or however you say it correctly. That's the chemical plant, where the little shunter goes about its business. And that's where we're going. Just beyond Dresden Hauptbahnhof. We'll wait for a green and then we'll go. Let's get a bit of a gap between whatever is in front of us. Is there anything in front of us? I'm sure there is. Love the pantographs. 1, 2, 4 of them. Wow. Imagine if you had all 4 pantographs up. That'd be insane. Lots of warning stickers. Just trying to spot anything in front of us. Unless it's that... oh, it's gone past us. Okay. Can we go then? Oh yes, it's turned green by the looks of it. No, it's not. It's still yellow. Ah well. Let's get going. I'm sure we've waited long enough. Oh, I forgot to turn CFA on. Oh well. Okay, so Dresden Hauptbahnhof is 43 kilometers away. Thierry, the wagon doors have lock pins that have to be removed first to open the door. I think I've tried doing that before, but for some reason the wagon doors, the lock can't be, well, unlocked. Presumably because it's, you know, full of coal. Don't want all the coal being spilled everywhere. Right, I'll say the usual YouTube shenanigans. If you have enjoyed the stream so far, then make sure to hit the thumbs up button below, and if you are watching for the first time, be it live or on playback, then I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. What's right under the desk here? Ah, there are the wiper controls. I see. There we go. I was just having a look at the screen here. You can look at the data. Maybe you could, maybe not. Maybe you could. But what you can do is alter the brightness and maybe change the contrast. No, maybe not. What about the UD? Oh, okay. So you got PCB, LZB, MAM, main, override, settings, special. I presume that's what it means. I don't know. Do any of them work? I don't have a clue. Oh, I see. Okay. Both screens display pretty much the same information. Right. You can change the contrast on this one now. That's good. You've got some switches here. You've got the horn. Right door release. So this does do passenger services. It would be interesting to see if you can, one day in the future, hopefully Dovetail will allow the the Vectron to be used on some passenger services on some German routes of the past, present, or maybe future. PZB switches there. Versa. It's very unique having it on the side of it. Shunting control and the direct brake. And over here you've got the LZB instrument dimmer, hazard lights, LZB emergency stop. I don't think that little screen there displays anything as far as I'm aware. And you've got this screen here which yeah, doesn't do anything. Here you've got the aircon switches, so you can adjust the temperature, the mode, and the speed of the aircon as well. Sadly there is no little corridor you can walk down there. I thought Dovetail would have done that, to be honest, with how detailed and good this Vectron is, but never mind. That's just a small niggle, and otherwise a very, very pretty and unique electric locomotive. Thierry, there's a scenario on the Werke Dresden where the Vectron has doppelstock coaches. I didn't know that, but I think at the end of this previous service I just did, I saw a little picture of the Vectron with the doppelstock coaches. So I'm pretty sure that is what the scenario is. When I stop at Dresden, I'll ban off. I'll have a little fiddle with the lock pins on the Ineos wagons. See if I can get the thing to open. I don't think I can. I have tried before, but maybe it's maybe I'm doing it wrong or something. I don't know. In terms of the next stream, or the next set of streams coming up at the end of the week, as it is the start of a new week today, the next stream will be on November the 5th. Remember, the 5th of November in your diaries, folks, because I'm going to be taking a look at the Glossop line in the north of England, I should say. Then the day after that, on November the 6th, I'm going to be taking a first look at the Antelope Valley line in the United States of America. So, both passenger orientated streams, but in very different circumstances when it comes to countries and rolling stock. Do not worry, we will cover the East Coast Main Line and the Flying Scotsman, but some other things I want to look at before we get on to the big one. AKA the big one is the East Coast Main Line with the Flying Scotsman. We will cover that soon, do not worry. Patience. And then once I've done that, I'll then cover the S-Bahn-Vorarlberg. And the stream after that, I'll probably just, yeah, do a usual merry-go-round of routes and loco add-ons that I already have. Strangely today, I was downstairs in the armchair in the kitchen, just having some lunch and a cup of tea, and I just started watching some. I've got a massive playlist of all like just random train programs, mostly from. I was mostly watching London Underground videos today, mainly from the wonderful Jeff Marshall and the Londonist YouTube channel. Don't know why, just thought. I felt like watching some London Underground stuff today. I was tempted to do a stream on the Bakerloo line at the last minute. So I was in the mood for London Underground stuff. We do need another route from Transport for London. I wouldn't mind if we have the Overground, maybe the North London line, or the North London and Goblin line that was released for Train Simulator. Now, weirdly, I had a look at that. That actually has 3 different lines. The North London line. It's the North London line, isn't it? Yeah. So you get 3 like passenger lines with the route. I think it's a total of 40 plus miles. So you get the Goblin line, which goes from Gospel Oak to Barking at the time. I think it's been extended since then. You've got the North London line to from Richmond to Stratford, and you've got the West London line, which is interesting, which is a small little branch line, the smallest line of the lot, if you like. That goes from Wilston Junction to Clapham Junction. Of course, Clapham Junction we already have in the game. I think if we had that in Train Sim World, maybe even the right era as well, when Dovetail released it for Train Simulator, because the rolling stock is an interesting mix. You've got the old class 172 Turbo Stars, which is a diesel multiple unit, and the BR class 378 Capital Star electric multiple unit, which I believe they're still in service to this day, the 387 in particular. So that I would really like to see in Train Sim World. And if you haven't got it in Train Simulator, it's worth picking up. I think it's 40 plus mile route. It's got some freight locations as well. So not only can you run passenger services or London Overground services on 3 different lines, but you can also do some through freight runs as well. So if Dovetail was to bring that to life, they'll probably use the 66 again. Or maybe debut a new freight locomotive. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? But it's been out since March 2017, so it is very old now. But I think a route in that, if Dovetail was to just basically transplant the Train Simulator version of this route I'm mentioning here into Train Sim World, that'd be fantastic. It's currently available for just 18 quid on Steam, which is a bit of a steal. I don't know what it looks like from a quality point of view, but just judging by the pictures and reading the information about it, yeah, I would love to see that in Train Sim World. We may do. You never know. You never know. Yeah. Hopefully that happens. Excuse me. We've got just over 20 kilometers to go until Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Thierry, this variant of the Vectron can do 200 kilometers per hour. Pretty quick for a freight locomotive, and most likely would haul intercity services. Oh, interesting. Intercity services, eh? What I found interesting on the S-Bahn-Vorarlberg timetable, I did have a little peek of the timetable, just seeing what you could do. And I think there's a type of service where there's a couple of MRCE, I think 182s, haul some intercity coaches on the line. I would have loved it if they would have been replaced by the Vectron instead. Imagine that, having two Vectron locomotives conducting that passenger service. That'd be really cool. Geo, you could spawn the Vectron device intercity services. Ah, right, I didn't know that. I don't really like using the free roam mode, to be honest with you. I'd rather have things set up ready for me to use rather than setting it up myself. I know it sounds a bit lazy, but that's my preference. So pretty much all of the new modes apart from the photo mode I haven't really interested me, to be honest. Scenario planner, yeah. Livery design, I'm terrible at creating stuff, so never been interested in that. Free roam, I had a little play with it, and the moment I found out that you can't actually replace an actual timetabled service you're going to do with a different set of rolling stock, that immediately turned me off. Because what I was planning to do was I wanted to do a rail tour service, one that was actually featured on the Southeastern High Speed timetable, replace the Jubilee and its coaches with the Flying Scotsman to do that exact service, but you can't. So yeah, that immediately turned me off. Oh well. Well, that's what I've discovered. I may have another look again at free roam mode, see if Dovetail makes some alterations to it. Liam Messi has won the Ballon d'Or again. Wow, I'm surprised by that. Haaland second and Mbappe third. Wow. I didn't think Messi would win it, to be honest. I mean, what has he done this year? He's won what? A league title with PSG. Maybe a domestic cup as well in the States. But yeah, I thought Haaland would get it, to be honest. Well, he should get it, really, because he's won the Champions League and the Premier League. I think the FA Cup as well. Wow. And he doesn't get selected for it. It's a shame. Might as well not bother with the Ballon d'Or, just give it to Messi every year just for the sake of it. Here the Deutsche Bahn 182 could do 230 kilometers per hour. That doesn't surprise me because it is the red variant in particular operates passenger services. "15 kilometers to go until Dresden." Is there a blind you can use on this? Yeah, you can. Now that would be a challenge. I was looking at the excuse me, some information of the new German route coming to Train Sim World, the main tower barn. It's obviously a pure diesel only route, which is it's nice to have something fresh, you know. It's not fully electrified, you haven't got electric locomotives running up and down the route. You've got just pure diesel for a change, which is nice, and set in the modern day as well. I think it's 38 or 40 kilometers, so it's definitely not the longest route in the game. And the fact it's priced a little bit cheaper, even though we don't know when it's going to come out, yeah, that certainly interests me even more. So when I pick it up on release day, whenever that happens, we'll see what it looks like when Dovetail showcase the route to the masses in one of their pre-release live streams. I think it's got 13-14 stations, so a reasonable chunk of stations to stop at and serve the local German towns and villages. And it's also good to use the DBBR 628 in the Deutsche Bahn red livery, which is nice. Thierry, in real life, the DBBR 101 can also be seen working freight service every now and again. I've seen the 101 been used on some sort of odd freight service now and again on some trains and more routes. I'm thinking Bremen-Oldenburg is one. Certainly different. And Kassel-Würzburg as well, where some of the late night passenger services, they have some freight rolling stock attached at the back of the intercity coaches. So a nice mixed consist to operate late at night. It would be good if the DB103 did some rail tour services on other German routes. That would be cool, actually. I'm surprised Dovetail haven't done that, to be honest. They do a lot of rail tours in the UK. Why not do some in Germany? I do like the 103, I must be honest. I think it's one of the most powerful electric locomotives ever made. I think it's got 10,000 horsepower. Crazy. Brake, 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 brake. I'm gonna be over speeding. Oh dear. I'm gonna be speeding. Oh dear. Well, not too far from Dresden. It's flown by the time. Good grief. Exactly 3.5 kilometers to go until Dresden Hauptbahnhof, and then that will be that. As far as the stream is concerned, been reasonably straightforward so far. Liam's going to be writing his emails to Dovetail. Excellent. See some monuments there in the background of Dresden. Right, I've got to get this thing to a stop very soon. Hopefully I won't end up running for a red signal and bottling the service. Intermodal train now. I love the variety of services on Navoka Dresden. You know, everywhere you go, there's always something going on. And no banana craft this week. I think he appeared briefly yesterday. Came and said hello. Not today. He's probably busy. Fair play. There is Dresden Hauptbahnhof on the left-hand side. We will be just stopping just beyond the station. Keep thinking the signal on the right there is for me, but it's not. Liam, if I'm not in next stream, is either because I'm in hospital, okay, or I'm busy fixing one of your cars. Oh, fair enough. I'm hoping for the latter. Don't want you to get injured. Safety first. There we are. Took me just under 40 minutes. Got a silver. I'll take that. Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Some nice freight runs with the wonderful Railpool BR 193 Vectron electric locomotive. One thing I will show you just before I do go, actually. If you click on the Vectron, as you can see, it's got a whole host of routes you can run it on. The Vectron Dresden has got 132 services. Bremen-Oldenburg is 67. Hamburg-Lübeck has 28. Hauptstrecke Rheinruhr has 20. Main-Spessart-Bahn has 79. That will be an interesting challenge for the Vectron, actually, on the Spessart ramp. Rheinron-Osten has 13, Rüssig Nord has 57, S-Bahn-Vorarlberg has 35, Kerlaken has 22, Kassel-Würzburg has 53, and Taranto ramp has 20. So a lot of things, a lot of services you can do with the wonderful 193 Vectron. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes the stream. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the thumbs up button below. And if you are watching for the first time, be it live or on playback, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. The next stream will be on November the 5th. That's a Sunday, of course. Sunday, November the 5th, 2023, where we're going to be taking a look at the Glossop line in the north of England. So hopefully you could join me for that. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.